morning, Stitchy friends. How are you today? My name is Jessie, and this is Mislaid Pages. Welcome to the new folks. There are a bunch of you. I'm so happy that you've decided to check me out. Wherever you've come from, I'm happy to have you. And thank you so much for coming back, all of you returning folks. There are a bunch of you now, and you're all fantastic. I love the comments that you leave me. You've all been very kind, and I really, really appreciate it. So today is September 10th while I'm filming this, but you'll see this on Friday, September 11th. Because I'm keeping it in Flosstube Friday, but I needed to go ahead and film it today. I have a lot of stuff to talk about, so I wanted to make sure I had plenty of time to talk about it and then get it edited and get that up for you so it could still be Flosstube Friday. So, filming a little bit early. Tomorrow being September 11th, it's kind of a strange day to try to do happy things. In America, I'm sure everybody's aware, September 11th is the anniversary of a horrible thing that happened, a horrible tragedy. I thankfully was not directly affected. I didn't have any family members or close friends who I either lost or who were directly involved in either the towers in New York or the Pentagon in DC, but it was still a really scary day for a lot of us, especially those of us here in the Richmond area of Virginia because we're so close to DC. So yeah, it's a scary day, or was a scary day, and can be a very strange and difficult day to deal with when the anniversary comes around. So anyway, so that is tomorrow. Any of you who were directly affected or have family members or close friends who are directly affected on that day, my heart goes out to you. Like I said, it's almost 20 years later, and it's still hard for me, and I wasn't even directly involved. So, but today is the 10th. We'll think about the 11th on the 11th. I think I said this is Flosstube 23. I can't remember. It's been a couple weeks, y'all. I appreciate that y'all were so, I assume you were patient about not having Flosstube and Woolly Wednesday last week. As I mentioned in Nickcast earlier this week, it's been a couple weeks of learning some personal lessons for me. I have a tendency to set myself a lot of what I think are reasonable goals and reasonable timelines, only to find out that I was either out of my mind or just unrealistic in my expectations of myself. And so last week when I was trying to get stuff done, I just had way too many things on my plate, and there were not enough hours in the day, and I was getting so stressed about it. And ultimately I had to make the decision to put a couple of things aside, set them down, start fresh, and stop just letting the to-do list get longer and longer and longer to the point where I was freaking out about stuff. So that's why we haven't had winners announced yet for the 250 subscriber giveaway. I will announce those today in this video. That'll be a little bit later, so stick around. So I will announce winners. Prizes will be going out soon. Super awesome. But yeah, that's why you didn't get a video for that. That's why I didn't get a video out for my plans for Season of Smalls. I didn't get a video out for Flosstube Friday, so on and so forth. I had to take a break. I had to take care of my mental health and try to remind myself that if these goals and limits and deadlines are self-imposed, it's okay to step back and understand that maybe those goals were unrealistic to start with, and just kind of dial it back a little bit. So the good news is I did finish my model stitch. Super exciting. I finished it a day later than I wanted to, and I have trouble not focusing on that part. Lessons I'm still learning. So, I mean, we have to be kind to ourselves, and we have to give ourselves a break, and we have to understand that when you set goals for yourself, it's important to recognize the things that you did accomplish instead of only focusing on the things that you didn't accomplish. So I'm still learning. Every day I'm learning. So I had everything all set up to finish my model stitch the last weekend of October, so I was all set and prepped and ready to finish before the 1st of September, and then that Saturday I ended up with a massive migraine, and I lost the entire day for stitching purposes. I basically I had to tap out. I couldn't look at anything. My head hurt so bad, my eyes hurt so bad. So I lost an entire day, and that pushed me back. And I understood not to push myself too hard with the stitching because, again, it was my self-imposed deadline, so I was at least that kind to myself. But I still was kind of beating myself up over not getting things done in the time that I wanted to. So I finished it on September 1st instead of on August 31st. Not a big deal, especially because the designer doesn't actually need the stitch until sometime next year. So the model that I stitched is actually, I'm not going to tell you which one, but the model I stitched is actually for a stitch along that is happening right now as we speak. So you try to figure that out because there's like 100 million stitch alongs that are going on right now. Regardless, the full finished pattern will not be released until after the stitch along is over, so she doesn't need the model until she's ready to release the full all of one piece pattern. So she doesn't actually need that yet. I thought she needed it middle of September. Turns out she doesn't need it till like next year. So live and learn, folks. Live and learn. I have actually signed up to do another model stitch for the same designer. I'm super excited. The pattern is not something, well, just like this one, the pattern is not something I probably would have sought out for myself, but there's some really awesome motifs in it, and I like the idea behind it. So when I can talk about that more than just saying I'm doing another model stitch, I absolutely will. At some point after the current finished model stitch is actually released, I will put up on my channel a little video of all the progress pictures and things like that. So that's going to be a while out. I'll do the same thing with the new model stitch. And I will say, I think, and nothing's finalized yet, but I think I'll be doing a model stitch for another fairly well-known designer at some point in the hopefully near future. So I'm not going to say any more than that because, like I said, nothing's final. And even if things had been more finalized, I haven't been given leeway to state what and for whom I'm doing. So, but that's exciting. Model stitching, yes! I never thought I would be a model stitcher. But it's happening, y'all. It's happening. Okay, so, oh yeah, continuing on life update. So all of that was why I had to take a break last week. And then last week was actually really busy because folks shopped on Labor Day, y'all. Like, I don't know if y'all were the shoppers. It wasn't just y'all, because I had a bunch of new customers. But I got some mad sales on Labor Day, and I am so happy and thankful and excited. So I spent a lot of my time putting orders together and that sort of stuff. Still got a few outstanding orders that I'll be sending out hopefully next week. But yeah, so it's been a busy and overall good. Well, this last week has been better than the week before. I was super stressed the week before, but I'm feeling a little bit more calm and more centered, and I'm trying to stop putting those time limitations on myself. I always feel like I should get things done in X amount of time, and when I don't get things done in that time, I need to learn to just let myself take the amount of time that I need to take. It's not that I'm slow, it's just that I think I'm not calibrated for my own timing, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm calibrated for some unachievable, unattainable timing. Like, for some reason, I have it in my head that there's this arbitrary amount of time that things should take, and generally speaking, that time doesn't work for me. So I don't know how that happened, but I need to recalibrate. So, yeah. So I think that's all the life update that there is, pretty much. This week I haven't done a lot of crafting. Well, I haven't done a lot of stitching. Actually, I haven't stitched at all since Sunday. And I haven't knitted at all since Sunday either. I've been working on a side project. I mentioned, I guess, last Flosstube that I had done some ice dyeing. So what I've been doing this week is working on cutting those pieces, because they were all really long pieces. They were what are called shortcuts. So when folks purchase yards at a time off of a bolt. At some point, eventually, the bolt has some extra left over, because it's not, for whatever reason, maybe somebody bought a yard and a half, or maybe somebody bought a portion of a yard at some point. So inevitably, at the end of that bolt, there's a little bit extra that's somewhere less than a yard. Might be 32 inches, might be 16 inches, might be 5. And when there are those bits, they call them shortcuts. So it's the full length of the bolt, but it is not fully a yard. So I've been snatching up those as much as I can, and that's what I dyed when I did the ice dyeing, because I just wanted to play around with stuff. And rather than investing the money it takes to buy a full yard of cross-stitch fabric, I've been buying these shortcuts to play with. So this week I was chopping those down into more reasonable lengths. And, sorry, I had a reminder pop up and I was trying to figure out what that was. So into stitchable lengths, basically, and ironing them and serging them and all that sort of stuff. Some of these pieces I'll be keeping for myself because some of the dye jobs turn out really, really nice. A lot of them are going to end up in the shop at some point. And I hesitate to even tell you that because I have no idea how long this is going to take. It's taken me all week, pretty much, to even cut them down and get them serged, and I've only done, I have a bunch of Ada that I dyed a long time ago that I'll be listing at some point, and I had a bunch of 28 count Lugana cuts and a bunch of 32 count Lugana cuts. I haven't serged the 32 count yet, I've serged the 28 count. So now I have roughly 40 pieces of fabric, maybe closer to 50 pieces of fabric, serged, but I have to take pictures and do listings and all this sort of stuff. And not to complain, but that takes time, y'all. It's already taken so much time, and I still have so much more to do. So it's really daunting. And I already had so much appreciation for what independent dyers do and how they do it, because dyeing in and of itself is an art form. And it takes a lot of talent and a lot of dedication to figure out how to get those colors, how to get those styles and effects that you like. But now that I've gone even further into the process with the cutting and the serging and the ironing and all that sort of stuff, it's just, I have so much additional respect for the independent dyers that do this every week. Like, I don't, when do y'all sleep? Seriously, when do you sleep? Okay, yeah, so that's what I've been doing. I haven't watched anything new to really discuss with you. I haven't listened to anything on audio to really discuss. Nothing that was good anyway. I've watched some stuff. What did I watch? Oh, I watched a Will Smith movie that I had high hopes about, called Gemini Man. Don't bother. Unless you just really love Will Smith and you don't mind watching weird CGI Will Smith. I've also been continuing to watch Lovecraft Country. It's still worth the watch. It's different than I expected. It's almost like the show is a series of pulp fiction novels or short stories. So it's all connected. It's definitely got overarching themes and things like that. But each individual episode is almost its own encapsulated story as well. So the feeling that I got from the very first episode is not what every episode feels like. Everything's very different. There's different styles. It's almost like if you had a 10-volume collection of different authors writing horror and science fiction novels, short novels, and then you just kind of read them as a series and they had a connecting theme. That's kind of what the show is turning out to be, which is not bad. It's just different than I expected. And the camera said, okay, the camera went like beauty shot on me or something. It was like blurry. So yeah, still watching Lovecraft Country. My husband and I actually also checked out a new show on HBO Max called Raised by Wolves, which is utterly bizarre. Just really, it's a Ridley Scott movie, and maybe that's why it's so bizarre. Not movie, television series. In the first episode, I think I spent the entire first half going, but why did they do this, and why is this happening, and why wouldn't they have done this? It was a lot of but why? Because my feeling was it's set in the future, and the premise is that these two androids are sent to this planet, Kepler 22b, I believe, because humans, as we're wont to do, have destroyed the Earth and have to leave. And so these two androids have been tasked with coming to this new planet and establishing human life. They're equipped with some embryos that they then have to raise into people, and that's the premise. So it's future humans, future timeline, and there were so many things where I was just like, but if this is far in the future and humans have evolved to X level, why wouldn't this, and this be how they did? Yeah, anyway, so watch at your own risk. It's weird. The main actress is strange, and I'm assuming she's meant to be that way, but it's just like, she's a little bit hard to watch for me. There's just something, she's even more alien than an android should be. Like, I don't know how to explain it. So again, watch at your own risk. So yeah. Other than that, I've been catching up on a lot of Flosstube. So I've been listening to all of my favorites. I need to check out some new folks. But the folks that I generally watch are Rachel Ray, my friend Rachel at Rachel Ray, Heike at Stone Cold Coffee Crafts, Cal's at Cal's Crafts. Hi, Cal. Caroline at Off Grid. She's fantastic. Michelle at Bendy Stitchy. Michelle G at Bendy Stitchy. I've also been watching Sunshine Stitchers, which is Gary and EJ and I hate that I've forgotten her name. There's three of them and they're awesome. They're from Florida. There's also Just Keep Stitching, which is a mom and daughter team, Pam and Steph. They are fantastic. I love watching them, partly because Pam, who is the mom in the mom and daughter team, she reminds me in a number of ways of my mom, so it's a little bit like getting to hang out with my mom, so that's kind of nice. Sometimes it's hard, but I like it. So Just Keep Stitching. I have heard that I need to watch Married with Stitches, which, if I remember correctly, Married with Stitches are the husband and husband duo who run Fortnite Fabrics. So I need to watch them. And I think there's at least one other that's been recommended that I haven't checked out yet. But if you have some other favorite Flosstubers, mention those here, because I'm always happy to check out new folks. But yeah, so that's what I've been listening to. Excuse me, a lot, especially the last couple of days when I've been cutting fabrics and serging fabrics and playing with the sewing machine and trying to figure out how to make this bag that I've decided that I have to make for my mom's project in October. Oh my gosh. Any of you who struggle with any kind of dyslexia or I forget what the term is if you mix up numbers, but there's another term for a similar issue when you mix up numbers instead of letters and words. If you have any kind of directional problems, then figuring out how to sew together things can be, oh my gosh. And I made a couple of zipper bags a few years ago, and I totally understood the process. I knew exactly what I was doing. I tried to sew a bag the other day, and it was the worst piece of I don't know what. It was awful. Not only were my stitches just way off, but I totally sewed it wrong, and the zipper was poking out, and then, yeah, it was, yeah, so I need to watch some videos on that. Also, I discovered that I have a giant bag of zippers, and none of them are long enough for the bag that I want to make. So, fun times. Anyway, let's talk about some actual cross-stitching now. Actually, let's talk about Happy Mail, and then we'll talk about the cross-stitching. So this is what you get when I take a week off. You get, like, you know, triple the Flosstube, or whatever. So, Happy Mail. So I got a couple of things in Happy Mail. As you know, I support various people on various artists and creators on Patreon. It is one of my favorite ways to support people who make things who I would like to support. And recently, I found out about a new artist through Michelle G at Bendy Stitchy. And this artist goes by Teal Teacup. That's her business name, I believe. I believe the artist is a she. So I signed up, and actually, when I signed up, there were only slots available in the sticker club. Recently, Teal Teacup has opened up new pin club memberships, and I signed up for September. So I will be getting an enamel pin and a sticker when the next shipment goes out. So that's super exciting. But I saw Michelle G talk about Teal Teacup on her channel, and so I absolutely had to jump in. And so I got my Teal Teacup Happy Meal for August, and it is this cute sticker. It's a boba kitty. So this is a little cat in a boba tea cup. Just super cute. Michelle signed up at a level that she got, I think she got 2 stickers and 2 enamel pins. I can't remember what the other design was, but how cute is that? It's so cute. So next time I will get a sticker and a pin, which I'm super excited about, and I think it's going to be an unhappy grilled cheese sandwich. It's so cute. I love this artist's work. Super cute, anime kind of style. So yeah, I'm very excited to be getting more from Teal Teacup in the future. It's going to be awesome. Also, I got a very special gift from a very special friend. Rachel actually sent me this surprise gift, and when it came in the mail, I cried. It was so awesome. So, as you all know, if you've been following, I'm doing a special cross stitch for a high tea start in October in remembrance of my mom. And I've talked a lot about how my mom loves swans, and so I am making a swan bag. I have a swan needle minder, all this sort of stuff. Well, I received this in the mail. Rachel ordered it from an Etsy shop, Gina's Unique Needle Minders, and I just have to show it to you. So Rachel sent me this gorgeous swan needle minder. She gifted it to me. Okay, it was, there we go. How beautiful is that? And it's so my mom's style too. So I really love it. I also got, in honor of high tea, a teacup and teapot set needle minder. How cute is that? So not only do I have the tea for high tea, but I have a gorgeous swan as well. So this project is going to have so many awesome needle minders on it. I'm super excited. And this was so special and so sweet of Rachel. So thank you very much. I already said thank you privately, but thank you. Yeah, it's very special to me. So I'm so incredibly honored to have received these as such a sweet gift. So thank you very much, Rachel. If you're interested in more needle minders from Gina's Unique Needle Minders, I'll put her information up here if I can. There we go. So she's on Facebook, she's on Etsy. Just pause that so you don't have to watch my hand shake. But yeah, so check her out. Because those needle minders are pretty awesome. So I'm definitely going to be checking out Gina's as well to see if there's anything else I might need for other projects. Especially because yeah, there's a code for a coupon on the back of this card as well. So awesome. So that's my happy mail. I think I'm still signed up for Zenspire Designs Sticker Club. I also re-upped my pledge for the latest Kate, so I can start getting her 5x7s again, because I love those. I need to start laminating those. Once I get into my craft room, I think I'm going to have, in addition to hanging some of my cross stitch, so you can actually see some cross stitch behind me, I'm going to laminate some of those and hang those up, or even frame them maybe. Hang some of those up in my space so I can see those inspirational sayings and that kind of stuff. So, but I haven't received any of my other happy mail from those folks, but it'll be coming whenever it comes. So, okay, so that's it for happy mail. Excuse me. I actually have whips to show you. I have some finishes to show you. But before we get to that, let's talk Season of Smalls. Hashtag Season of Smalls. I'm going to put up some pictures over here. So it's become really exciting. So I know a couple of you have already been talking about Season of Smalls on your channels. Cal, thank you so much for like boosting the signal. I've already seen some folks that I think were either referred by you or referred by Rachel, who are posting on Instagram using the hashtag Season of Smalls, which is awesome. I'm so excited. But in addition to that, to help boost the signal, Rachel of Rachel Ray and Heike of Stone Cold Coffee Crafts have decided to go in with me to help sponsor a prize, a special prize for Season of Smalls. So we've made this a little bit more officialized, or I've made it a little bit more officialized. So I'm going to put over here, I have a couple of rules-ish. In order to be entered for the giveaway, not only do you have to stitch your small, and it can be anything that you consider small if you think you can finish it in the amount of time. I would recommend 50 by 50 or smaller, and I think a 50 by 50 is actually technically a mini. If you follow Stitch for Stash, I just recently learned this from Jen Lee. If you follow Stitch for Stash or you deal with that, they actually have a formula for how to calculate sizes. Mini is officially something I think that equals out to a 50 by 50, and then a small is actually like 100 or something like that. Anyway, whatever you consider a small for your speed and your abilities and all that sort of stuff, stitch on that. Obviously, I would love for you to use the hashtag Season of Smalls all over Instagram, on Facebook, all of that stuff, because I want to see your progress. But to officially enter for the giveaway, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to finish that small, pointing in the right direction, pointing over here. Over here, yes. You're going to want to finish that small by October 11th, I think is what this thing says. You're going to want to finish that, and you're going to want to email me a picture of your finished small. It doesn't have to be FFO'd, so it doesn't need to be finally finished or fully finished. It just needs to be completely stitched. Send me a picture to seasonofsmalls@gmail.com, and not only am I gonna gather all of those pictures together, and I'm gonna do a special either a special segment in Flosstube or maybe a completely separate video. I haven't decided yet. Depends on how many entries I have. If I have a ton of entries, I might actually make it its own feature. But I'm going to include all of those pictures in a special video, and then I'm going to do a drawing at the end of everything. It'll be the week after the deadline to give myself some time to compile all of those and do a drawing and everything. And we're going to have 2 winners. Each of those winners will receive a $10 gift certificate to my Etsy shop, Mislaid Pages, and also a $10 gift certificate to Rachel's Etsy shop, Rachel Ray Craft on Etsy. So you'll get $20 worth of gift certificates to our 2 Etsy shops. Thank you so much, Rachel, for helping me to sponsor this. Thank you so much, Heike, for helping us to sponsor this. Really appreciate both of you doing that. So again, stitch anything you like. It can be any theme. It can be any subject matter. It can be any size that you can finish between now and October 10th or 11th. Whatever that says. But yeah, I mean, if you can do a 500 by 500, it's not a small, but go ahead. But yeah, you don't have to be limited to 50 by 50. I just figured that's a good suggestion. It's a good small size that most folks can finish in a reasonable amount of time. You can send me as many pictures as you like, but you can only enter once for the giveaway. If you want to stitch a new small every single day, I am happy to see all of those pictures. I am happy to feature all of those pictures in the final video. You will only be entered into the giveaway once, just FYI. So, again, that giveaway is only through emailing me your picture of your finished piece. You should also let me know what your preferred name is for me to use on that video. And if you would prefer only a first name, that's totally fine. If you prefer a YouTube channel name instead of your personal legal name, that's totally fine too. Just let me know what name you would like me to use in correlation to your picture. So yeah, official Season of Smalls. Because of Season of Smalls, I have a finish. I actually have 2 finishes. So a little bit of story behind this first one. I also, on Patreon, support, excuse me, Michelle G at Bendy Stitchy. And she recently had a contest for her Patreons to stitch a small Halloween ornament design that she had made. I don't know if she's announced the winner yet, but I definitely entered. She had created this design that's only 32 by 32, and she needed it finished by the 1st so that her husband Wayne and her daughter Rosie could vote on which colorway they liked the best, which choices they liked the best, and then the deal is that the model will be that the chosen stitch will be sent to Michelle so that she can have it fully finished and use it as the model on the cover of the finally released chart. Super exciting. So she basically outsourced the model stitching for this particular pattern, which was really awesome. So you can only use 2 colors. So I was a little bit cheaty McCheaterface, and I decided to use 2 Dinky Dye colors that are actually a bunch of colors. So it's only 2 threads, two colors of thread, or 2 colorways of thread, but it's a whole bunch of colors. So let's look at this. So how do you like that? Halloweeny? Yeah, I like it. Okay, focus. There we go. How's that? So these 2 colorways, so there's the moon and the ghosts that are kind of purple, dark purple and light purple. That is Night Sky. That's one of Dinky Dye's 2020 brand new colors. And then the other colorway for the house and the smoke and the ground there, that is actually Black Opal, which has that neon green, the bright blue, and the red, as well as the black. And actually, Black Opal was just in one of the recent monthly Dinky Dye packs that I do on my Etsy shop. So yeah, I thought that was super cool. So that's a finish. I haven't fully finished it because I entered it into her contest and I haven't found out who's won that yet. So in case I win and I get to send that in, I'm waiting to find out. So yeah. Also, I finally finished, as in I finally got around to it, not I fully finished. This Be Well and Stitch piece from Jeanette Douglas Designs, the mini bouquet. Be Well and Stitch mini bouquet. I finally finished that. At least I think I have finished it. I actually haven't put my initials on it yet, so maybe it's not finished. I think it actually is supposed to say, it's charted to say Be Well at the bottom here, but I actually really like it just like it is. So I may put my signature on it and call it done. I think it's finished. I think I'm done with it. But yeah, so as you can see, I decided to, I should talk about, I'll talk about it in a second. So let me see if I can get that focused. There we go. I decided to do all the flowers in one color. So that is, that's a Color and Cotton colorway. I can't remember which ones because I didn't actually look at the tags. I just picked pretty colors. So the green, the brown for the basket, and the purple are all Color and Cotton threads that I got in one of my monthly shipments. And then the border is a hand dye by Rolanda. So those are all cotton threads. This fabric is a gorgeous grab bag fabric. Should be a 32 count even weave that I got from Kathy Davidson last year, dyeing for cross stitch. I hope she does grab bags, even weave grab bags again this year, because oh my gosh, it's like my favorite go-to. This piece, I already told you what the threads are. This fabric is a 28 count Laurel Green Zweigart Lugana. So I went with something pretty classic, not hand dyed, because I wanted, if Michelle wanted to use this for her model stitch, I wanted her to be able to give those, the fabric and the floss, and folks be able to find those if they wanted them specifically. So, 2 finishes. How's that, y'all? I haven't shown you anything for like a month, and now I have 2 finishes, and I have a new start. So, also Season of Smalls. So all of these are Season of Smalls. Season of Smalls. So So I've already finished 2 pieces for Season of Smalls, though again, the Michelle design is Cheaty McCheaterface, because I actually finished this August 30th, I think. I did this in a couple hours because it was so small. But yeah. The Jeanette Douglas design I did finish in September, so that was my first official Season of Smalls actual stitch. And then, after I finished the Jeanette Douglas piece, I started gathering berries. So that's as far as I've gotten so far. It doesn't look like a lot, but this is 40 count fabric, so this is teeny tiny. It's going to be about 4 inches square when it's finished. This fabric is a 40 count mallow in raw linen. Mallow is an interesting fabric because it's technically a linen, but it has a weave and an evenness much more like even weave. So this is much more like Lugana as far as the texture and the look of it, but it actually is linen. Interesting. So, and it's a super high count. I considered doing it 1/1, and then I decided that that would probably be too tiny. So this is roughly equivalent to a 1/1. I can see your head. Say hi to Baby Yoda, everybody. Okay, I think we're done with that now. Okay, well, if you ever wondered what my husband looked like, this is my husband, everybody. I guess this is Baby Yoda showing off my... What are you doing? Okay, a special guest appearance. Okay, so this is gathering berries. The floss I'm using for this is another coloring cotton. This is Bing Cherry. So a while back when I opened up my my coloring cotton floss pack, I just oohed and awed over this really deep red that was in there. This is that gorgeous deep red. So I'm super excited about how it's turning out. It's a little blown out on camera, like all the colors are blown out on my camera. But in general, it looks really nice. In person, it's a much richer, deeper tone than it is showing up on camera. But that's gathering berries. So the next question with this is whether I'm going to keep working on it until I finish it and then start a new small, or if I'm going to start another small and work on them concurrently. So it's a question of whether this is going to be ultimately just be a whip that I've started, or if this is going to be something that I work until it's finished during Season of Smalls. So we'll see. I haven't decided yet. So that's all the whips that are fit to whip and finishes, which is super exciting. So I haven't thought much past Season of Smalls as far as plans, though. Let me show you the other things I'm planning for Season of Smalls, and I totally forgot to put it in the stack over here, so I'll have to pause and come back. And we're back. Okay, so I have a whole bunch of smalls put together. There's no way I'm getting through all of this in Season of Smalls, but we'll see. Because Season of Smalls, realistically, for me, will probably end October 1st. But I'm giving everybody else a few extra days because obviously I didn't even announce the whole giveaway aspect of it until just now. Rachel actually already talked about it in her Flosstube last week because she and I discussed it. And I came up with all of the guidelines and everything. We came up with the guidelines. So she's already talked about it. If you came over from her, you probably are already aware of it. But I'm only just announcing it now. So I figured the 10th or 11th of October would give everybody else at least 30 days if you hadn't heard about it yet. So let's see what else I might be doing for Season of Smalls. So you all have seen this on my channel already. I already talked about doing it for Season of Smalls. This is the Be Happy chart from Summer House Stitch Works that I received as part of an auction from Michelle G's page. This, I believe, if I remember correctly, this was for the Child Rescue Coalition. That was the charity that this was raising money for. So I've obviously got it already kitted. It's all ready to go, if I can hold it right side up. So this is very likely to be the very next thing that I start for Season of Smalls. So yeah, so that's all ready to go. I love these colors. Look how pretty. What I might actually do, because I'm noticing that mallow is about the same color, or is a very similar color to this linen. So what I might actually do is stitch it on mallow instead. We'll see. The stitching is so tiny. Maybe I'll just do it on this linen. I have partial thoughts of paying this forward. I think at the very least the chart will get passed. Will be stashed that's passed. I probably won't need all of this floss, so maybe any leftover floss I will also pass. But I'm trying to decide if I'm actually going to use this linen or if I'm going to keep it with this when I pass the stash. So we'll see. But anyway, so that's on the list. Also, I have a whole bunch of things here. So this pattern is technically it's a bit bigger than a small, but it's smaller than a medium. But this is a pattern I've had for a long time. This is Annie B's Folk Art Sunshine, which I think is just the cutest thing ever. I actually have a coworker she is one of the brightest, bubbliest, friendliest people. She is fantastic, and she is this tiny little bundle of joy and sunshine. And when I say tiny, she's like 4 foot tall. She's super, super tiny, itty bitty woman, but she has the biggest heart of almost anybody that I've ever known. And when I started working for the agency that I work for, I started in the call center. And the call center has always been somewhat separated from the rest of the agency in a lot of different ways. And she was one of the few people when I worked in the call center that made it a point every day or every time she saw me to she put on this big smile and, how are you today? She was just always happy to see me. She always made me feel welcome, and that sort of thing. And so she's been this bright spot in my work life since I started there, and it's been almost 6 years. So when I think of her, I think of sunshine, I think of sunflowers, I think of bright yellow daisies and things like that. So when I stitch this, the finish may actually go to her. So I have all the flosses for this. So that's all ready to go. It's actually a 69 by 79, so it's a bit big to be considered a small, but it's super cute and I really want to stitch it. So that's in the possibility pile. I also have these Lizzie Kates. The collection is called Coffee Time. And it's 3 different pieces that have to do with coffee, because I am a huge lover of coffee. But first, coffee. Dear Coffee, I love you. That is all. Today's Good Mood, sponsored by coffee. Is sponsored by coffee. And actually, I really need to stitch. I need to stitch this one for when we finally go back to the office. Because yeah. So these are all pretty small. The largest of them is 76 by 56. There's a 66 by 78 and a 59 by 43. So today's Good Mood is actually 66 by 78, but as you can see, it's mostly text. So all of those would be super fast to stitch. I have all the flosses for that. I also have flosses for a few other Lizzie Kates. I may have talked about these before. I love these tiny designs that she does. Or did, I should say. She's retired now. Dreaming is free, believe in miracles. And live simply. And this is probably the most likely to be stitched after the coffee. Is a small one called Grateful, Thankful, Blessed. Focus there. So, I kitted all of these up a while ago, so it's just a matter of deciding to actually stitch them. These go pretty fast. When I did the, I can't remember what the full quote is now, but I've already done a Lizzie Kate earlier this year. and that one went very quickly. So I would expect those to go very quickly too. So at least one of those 6 Izzy Fates will get stitched for SeasonOfSmalls, excuse me. Let's see, I'm using this super cute bag from the 805 Stitcher to keep some of my flosses for these projects. Let's see, what else might I stitch for SeasonOfSmalls? I'm already stitching this. We know it, we love it. Oh, I looked up more information on this. So Misty Purcell, is selling these. She's using the proceeds from this specific chart to help assist a family member of hers who has a child going through cancer treatment. So you can get more information on that, I believe, on her Etsy listing, or perhaps on her page directly. Regardless, proceeds from this chart are going to help someone who has cancer, someone whose child who has cancer, but it happens to be somebody that in Misty's family. So regardless, the money is going to a good cause. I'm specifically not getting these for the shop, because what I want is for you to go directly to Misty and purchase it from her so that she will get as much of the proceeds as possible. When I purchase them, I believe she gets money from that, but she gets whatever wholesale proceeds are, which is less than if she sells it for retail and gets the proceeds. So please go directly to Misty and purchase it from Misty if you can. In fact, I might actually, because I don't think there's a time limit on this. I think it's just the proceeds from this chart. So what I may actually do is buy a few retail directly from her to then give away on the channel, because I really want to help her support her family. So anyway, so that's that. You know I'm stitching that. This is not for SeasonOfSmalls, but this is something that's coming up soon. And Heike just recently talked about it in her most recent Flosstube. So recently, she and Rachel and I, actually I think she and Rachel started talking about how differently they stitch things, how they approach a project and start in different places. And okay, sorry about the jump there. When I started filming, I had completely forgotten that I'd made plans to go get some food with my brother and a friend of ours, and so they showed up and I had totally forgotten that was going to happen. So anyway, so the light is probably very different now because the sun actually came out. It rained while we were gone, and now the sun's out, so fun. So I think I was talking about, I'm not really sure what I was talking about. I think I was talking about Heike and Rachel. They were stitching on something together, and they were realizing that they both took very different strategies and how they tackled the pattern and that sort of stuff. And so I was kind of like, well, I feel like the three of us should all do the same. We should all work on the same chart and then see how we all three how we approach things differently, like what it looks like when we all work on the same chart, and where we decide to start and how we decide to fill it in and all that sort of stuff. So we all decided that we're going to work together on Foxview from Plum Street Samplers. It's a pattern that we all have been interested in for a while. And I know that Rachel and I both had this already. I had it mostly kitted up. Not completely, I still need a few threads. But I had most everything I needed for it. And I think now Heike has gotten everything she needs for it. So we'll be starting this sometime soon. The pattern is 54 by 90, so again a little bit large for a small, but it might happen in September, so we'll see. So I'll put that out there. Foxview. Let's see, I already talked about gathering berries. And you've already seen this chart, but this will probably also happen in SeasonOfSmalls. I have so many charts. Or at least one of these. So Haunted. At least one of these three little designs at top. Probably either the crow or the cat. Actually, that's got a cat too. One of these designs will probably get stitched up, and I'm going to do those with, I have the thread somewhere, with some more color and cottons. I've already picked my colors for that. So I'm going to be using, because a lot of this I'm just trying to use what I already have on hand. So we've got apricot for the orange, nickel for the light gray, and then this is chimney sweep for the darker gray, and it also calls for 310, and I have so much 310 it's not even funny. So I have that all together. I just have to pick a fabric, and then the Say Her Name pattern that I got from Top Knot Stitcher, I'm going to stitch. This is not a picture of it, this is the actual pattern, so I'm not going to hold this up, but I've decided to stitch that in this lovely color that I can't get back out of the thing. So this was a hand dyed by Rolanda Cotton, so I'm going to stitch Say Her Name, Breonna Taylor, in that color. That will definitely be happening during Season of Smalls. And then I've also got, I have a whole stack here of PDF patterns that I've purchased and printed. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I definitely want to do these Quirky Quakers. So I've got the puffin, and I've got the hedgehog, and she just released number 3, which is a bat, I believe, which you can turn either way, which is kind of cool. He can be hanging upside down or right side up. I haven't bought it yet, but I probably will. And then I've got a couple of Patreon exclusive ink circle charts. So the Love Bug, and okay, there's a Shuriken Roll Your Own, but I'm not going to show that to you because I don't think I can fold it without showing you things you shouldn't see. And then I've also got the Peppermint Purple with Love chart. That's the little koala with the yellow flower wreath that they sold to help benefit animals that were displaced by the wildfires in Australia earlier this year. And also I have, and I'm trying to remember who the sorry, I'm trying to remember who the designer was, and I don't see the designer. I didn't print out Patty Brake, and I can't remember what her stitchy shop is called, but she did Stitchy Noel for she designed it for Caroline from Off the Grid Needle Arts for Flossmas 2019. So I'll probably stitch that as well because it's very small. So bunch of stuff. I also have a couple more. I have so many things. So if I really run out of small things to stitch, I also have a couple of hands-on designs. I have coffee, which is a hug and a cup. And I also have give thanks for this day. So I have plenty to keep me busy this month. I don't know, I still, even though it's already the 10th of the month, I haven't decided what my strategy is going to be as far as, am I just going to start as many smalls as I can? Am I going to finish as many smalls as I can? I will figure it out at some point. Like I said, I haven't had a whole lot of stitchy time the last few days because I've been working on some other things. So probably this weekend and what I get up to and how things turn out will probably determine exactly what my strategy for the rest of Season of Smalls will be. So that is that. That's my plans for Season of Smalls. As I said, I haven't thought much more about what I'm doing past that, other than on October 1st I will have a high tea start, and that high tea start will be that gorgeous pattern from Glendon Place. I have that kitted up. I have everything ready to go for it except for the project bag. But I have a couple of other bags that I could use in place if I can't get the project bag made that I want to make. So that's the big thing for October. Beyond that, because I don't expect to finish that, I expect that that's going to be a whip for a while. I don't know how long. If it does go into the next year, if it goes into 2021 and I haven't finished it, then probably what I will do is make that a special piece that I work on specific days of the year until it's finished. So what will happen with that is that after October, um, if I don't work on it anymore, if I don't finish it by the end of the year, probably the next time I will make a point to work on it will be Mother's Day. And then again on October 8th, which is my mother's birthday. So, and if I can think of any other special dates related to her, I will probably make a point to work on that piece during those times. So, I don't necessarily expect that to be a piece that stretches out over years and years, but if it does, then like I say, I will make that the piece that I work on Mother's Day, the piece that I work on October 8th. Trying to think of other special days. It might be nice to stitch it on my birthday, since obviously my mother had something to do with that. Stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so I'll be starting that on October 1st. I will certainly work on that on October 8th as well. I'll be away on vacation. But I will work in some stitchy time on that day. I'm probably going to have a lot of stitchy time that week. Planning on having a lot of stitchy time that week. Sorry, I'm just putting all my stuff back where it goes. So I'm a little bit discombobulated now because like I said, I had forgot that I made plans. I don't normally do that, but I totally did that this time, so that's all on me. Let's see. Let me pause this again and put this stuff away. Okay, all that stuff is away now. Still drinking my coffee because it's always coffee time. Okay, so let's talk about purchases. I haven't really made any new purchases. What I'm trying to do is hashtag no spend September. I actually got that hashtag from someone that I follow who follows me on Instagram. The idea is to try not to spend any money, for me at least, is to try not to spend any money that is outside of my ongoing subscriptions. I think I've mentioned it before, but now I have an official hashtag. So I think since September started, I've only purchased one thing, or I've only made one purchase, and I kind of had to make that purchase. Because Caroline at Off the Grid Needle Arts, she is also the co-owner and I think chief maker of Evertote, or maybe she's the only owner of Evertote. I feel like somebody works with her. Regardless, she is responsible for the bags at Evertote, and she did a big shop update this past Friday. So yeah, I wanted an Evertote for a really long time, and I already knew from watching her channel that she had some fabrics that I really, really wanted. And I also know that once she posts and sells fabrics, or bags made of fabrics, then those fabrics are gone. So it's a situation of if you don't buy it when it's available, you will not get it. So yeah, so I made a purchase, but those won't be here for a long time. I think at least one of them, I bought 2 bags, and one of them is a pre-order, so I believe that means my entire order will have to wait until she actually is able to make the pre-order bag, and then she'll have to actually be able to ship it out. Those of you who are not familiar with Caroline Off the Grid, part of the reason she is off the grid is because I think about half of the year, she and her family, primarily she, live in a cabin off of a very large lake, I believe, in Ontario, Canada. And so they are fairly well removed from civilization, and so sometimes getting things to the post office to get mailed out take extra time. And then, of course, mail is just taking a long time in general right now. So once she gets that made, it'll take her a few days to get it posted, and then once it's in the post, it'll get here when it gets here. So gonna be a while. But I just in the spirit of full disclosure, I made one purchase. I'm gonna try not to make any more purchases. We'll see how that goes. That, of course, doesn't include any purchases made for the purposes of my business. That's completely separate, and that's largely because that money is completely separate. That is not my personal money. That is business money, and never the twain shall meet. So, yeah. So let's talk about purchases I made before September that have arrived. First and foremost, I have to show you this really awesome thing. Now, I've been familiar And if you watched Rachel's videos recently, she just did a pretty big feature on this shop owner. But I've been familiar with Agnes Little Minders for a while through Heike, I believe. I think that's where I first heard about Agnes Little. And recently, she posted her shop update for, it was like a Summer Under the Sea collection. I can't remember what she actually called it, but there were manta rays, and there were octopi, and there were little ocean-themed dragons and seashells. Excuse me. All sorts of fantastical ocean-y things. I actually managed to hit her shop not too long after the update, so I actually got a piece. Let me just show you this piece, because it is absolutely the cutest thing ever. And first and foremost, like I said, Rachel already did a pretty in-depth look at what you get in a package from Agnes Little, but I'll tell you, first of all, she packages it so beautifully. Like every little bit is wrapped in its own paper, so it's like several little gifts in a box. She puts together cards with your name on them in this tiny little envelope, and it's got, a thank you on her business card, as well as her main actual business card with her information. There's care instructions for the minder, and then there's like a little inspirational quote. We are each gifted in a unique and important way. It is our privilege and our adventure to discover our own special light, which I thought was really nice. Yeah, so she included all of that. She also included a bag of puka tea, Feel New, clean fusion of aniseed, fennel, and cardamom. I'll be up front, I'm not a huge fan of fennel and aniseed, so we'll see. I might actually, I'll have to see if Rachel likes these flavors. I might include that in my next box to her, just so somebody will drink it. But I got a bag of tea, and also a Dum Dum. And this one is bubblegum flavored. Yep. And so all of that in addition to this gorgeous little box that actually has the minder. So none of that other stuff was anything that I paid for. That's just all nice stuff that Agnes puts in the box. And she sends you all these really nice messages on Etsy too, to thank you for your order and to thank you if you happen to put a review up. She was really excited by my review and that kind of stuff. So let me get to the real deal here. So, oops, got stuck to the magnet. And if you can't see it well on camera, I'll try to put in another picture. Because I took some pictures and put these on Instagram. But look, how cute is the little octopus? It's got little roses. I'm trying to get the camera to actually focus. Okay, I'm focusing on my face. Stop focusing on my face. I have the hardest time with this camera. Okay, there we go. Look how cute. So cute. I may still put a picture up. We'll see how I feel when I'm editing. This has already taken a lot longer than I expected it to. But it's so small and delicate. I mean, you can see in my hand how small it is. I was expecting it to be huge, which honestly, and for your stitching, you don't want anything too big. You want something small. And it's delicate without me worrying that I'm going to break it. I certainly would not want to play rough with it, but I'm also not afraid that it's going to break just by looking at it. So it's so cute, though. It's so cute. It's just the cutest thing ever. And she does, her backs are really cool. I haven't untaped this one yet. So she does polymer clay for the back piece as well. So there's the magnet, but then she's got this piece of clay on the back. And this is painted up to look like some coral or something like that. And it's also not, doesn't want to focus on that. But you can, it's skin tone. So yeah, you can kind of see that. And I'm actually going to take my little special saying here, and I'm going to put my octopus on it. And just stick it to the back like that. How nice is that? So yeah. If I do that, focus sort of kind of. Anyway, you get the idea. So yeah, smaller than a business card. Super cute. But yeah, I'm so happy with that. These are her minders. are a little bit on the pricier side as far as, well, yeah, as far as minders go, they're definitely on the pricier side. But as you can probably tell, I mean, this is a gorgeous piece of handmade artwork. This is not just, it's not just an enamel pin, that we've ground off the pin on and put a magnet on, which also involves a lot of work. But this is handcrafted goodness, y'all. So, and I am so happy with this piece. It is so worth the wait, because she is in the UK, and the money I invested as well. Definitely worth it. I'm so happy. I can't wait. If she ever does octopi again, I'm gonna have to buy every single one of them. But also, the manta rays were really cool too. They just weren't available by the time I got to the shop. So, but I'm super happy that I got to make one of these octopi mine, because when she was posting them on Instagram, I was in love. I was already in love. So I'm very, very excited. So that was the biggest thing I purchased, at least investment wise, and so worth it. And she put so much padding. I don't even know how she closed this box when she shipped it to me, because I can't get it back in the box the way it came. But yeah, I'm so happy with that. I know she's already gotten a lot of love from Rachel's feature on Rachel's channel, but give her more love, because her stuff is awesome. It's fantastic. I will definitely make more purchases with her in the future. Now the sun's really coming out. Wow. Okay, I also bought, actually this is a bigger purchase than the needle minder, but individually these are less expensive items. So I got my flosses from Kathy. I made a pretty big order from Dying for Cross Stitch. She has completely changed the way that she does her selling. So previously, she would post on Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it was first come, first serve. You me please the picture of the floss or the fabric that you want. You have to be fast and get in and all this sort of stuff. Everything done through Facebook. Well, I think she posted this in her group. I think she has struggled with how to make that more time efficient for herself, so that she can continue doing dyeing but still have the time to do other things that she wants to do, which I totally understand. So what she's decided to do is that rather than posting, and I believe I'm saying this correctly, always check out her Facebook group or her website directly if you have any questions about what I'm saying, because I'm not a paid affiliate or anything like that. I'm going based on the information that I have, which could possibly be incorrect. So always check with Kathy directly or on her Facebook page if you're ever concerned about the accuracy of what I've stated. But I believe what she's doing now, she did a round of posting stuff she already had on sale, ready, or she already had made it ready to ship. But I think going forward, she's going to be posting what essentially are pre-orders. So she's going to have a couple of different colors of fabric that are available for order, and a few different kinds of floss that are available for order. And so you pick out what you want, and she'll make it after you order it, I think is how it's going to work. So there's going to be less of that, have to buy it because, oh my gosh. And there are going to be limited, it's going to be a limited amount of stuff at a time as far as the colors available and things like that. But it also sounds like it's going to be a limited time that each item is available. So it's not like she's just going to have all these available all the time. But yeah, we'll just have to see how it works out. Regardless, I like the aspect of just being able to go to her website and calmly picking and choosing, because I have certainly been guilty of just grabbing stuff because I could in the past. So having time to pick and choose and decide, do I really need that color, versus it's available, I have to have 3 of them. Yeah, so thank you, Kathy, for that at least. But anyway, so she's not going to be doing the cotton re-dyes anymore because she's changed the structure of how she's listing things. So this will be probably the last batch of re-dyes that I get, but it certainly won't be the last time I order from Kathy. Not by a long shot. I'll just be able to order more frugally going forward instead of getting wrapped up in the oh my gosh, grab it before it's gone mentality. So, but this was a pretty big order, largely because I bought 2 colors in quantity that I want to use for Pandemic. And I'm excited to have these now because I can do a floss toss and see if they're going to work with the fabric that I have chosen. So, one of those colors is Sangria. Sangria. There we go. So this is, it's coming off a little redder on camera, but it is sort of a plummy, pinky kind of color. And then I've also got Decadence, which is a deep purple. Okay, that's really not, the light is just crazy bright now. A nice dark purple. So I'm planning on using those together, which I think will be really nice. And I think it'll go really well on that gray fabric, the Storm fabric that I got from Brandy. So each of those I have purchased 4 skeins, 4 50-yard skeins. So between the 2 colors I have plenty for Pandemic. So Sangria and Decadence. And Decadence. I'll do all 4. Ha ha ha. Oops. Yeah, so those are going to be my colors for Pandemic. I think what I may also do is intersperse, I have a rainbow colorway from Silks For You. And I think some of the little birds and animals and things like that I may actually do in rainbow. And kind of what I'm thinking is that Decadence is going to be a lot of the border type motifs, the outer border and inner border looking things, and then Sangria will take up the inner designs, and then I'll have some of those birds and different other smaller life like animal, maybe some flowers and things like that. Those types of motifs I think I'll do in the rainbow. So I'll have these 2 colors and then also a rainbow. But the rainbow will be just kind of like little bits here and there. So I think that's going to be really cool. That's kind of what I'm thinking. If you're working on Pandemic, let me know what you decided to do. If you're going to work on Pandemic, let me know what you're planning on doing. Because I love to see everybody else's take on stuff. I know Cal's working on Pandemic and hers looks awesome. Rachel is working on a long dog sampler, the Pilgrim, I believe, and the floss that she's using for that is so gorgeous. It's a Mrs. Sadist color. I can't remember what the color is, but it's so good, so good. Let's see. Anyway, other colors that I purchased in this redye, I got this color called Firebane, which I think is really cool. There's some Witchy Stitcher stuff that I think I want to use this for. Really, really nice. So red and dark red at the bottom, fading up into black. Really, really cool. Super happy with that. We've got Antique Peacock, which you know me with the greens and the blues. We have Spices, which is more earthy in general in person than it is on camera. It's coming off kind of bright, but these are earthier tones. And last but not least, Bazaar. I love the combination of like orange and teal. Like orange and teal are really getting me these days. It's really nice. So, like I said, that was a pretty big purchase. But I purchased that in August, so cheaty McCheater face. Yeah. So I don't know how much more I'll get to show you in September because other than my Caroline bags, I don't think I'm waiting on any cross-stitchy stuff. I'm still, I think, waiting on a couple of yarny things that I've already purchased. But I think I've received all of the cross-stitch stuff that I've purchased recently. So what I may do next time is I may actually show you some of my ice dyed stuff. Since I won't have any purchases to show you, I'll show you just other stuff that I've been working on that's cross-stitch related. Especially because you're all probably familiar at this point with the Dark Queen of the Sea Sow. I have a few friends that are trying to get me to do it. And the peer pressure is real, y'all. Like, not all of them are saying, you have to do this. But, you know, seeing so many of my friends working on it, seeing how gorgeously it's stitching up so far, I'm probably gonna jump on that wagon. Especially because I have the cute little octopus who can be my needle minder for my Dark Queen of the Sea Sow. I mean, you know? Also, I might have to purchase the needle minders for the Dark Queen of the Sea Sow. If they're available after September. We'll have to see. But yeah, so I think I'm probably going to jump on that wagon. But I'm thinking I'm going to try to dye my own fabric for it. Feels crazy. Feels a little crazy. But some of the experiments that I did when I last ice dyed some stuff, some of the colors I was getting are fantabulous. Blues and purples and pinks. So yeah, and I just got in an almost full yard of 32 count Lugana to dye. So if the dyeing is successful, then I will have a nice big piece that I can use for Dark Queen of the Sea, and then I might have some additional pieces that can go in the shop or something like that. So, not that I'm trying to steal thunder from Under the Sea Fabrics, because is it Bewitched? I think that's what they're calling their colorway that is exclusive to the Dark Queen of the Sea Sow. Regardless, it's gorgeous. And I will say I wanted Opal Lugana, and I couldn't get Opal Lugana. Not without buying a full yard, which is... that's an investment, y'all. Yeah. So anyway. Yeah, so I might dye my Dark Queen of the Sea fabric. We'll have to see how that goes. Whatever happens, I'll show you all the results. Maybe not next week, maybe the week after, we'll have to see how things go. So, last but not least, I have one more purchase to show you, and then we're going to talk about the 250 subscriber giveaway. So, I have shown this Etsy seller, this artisan, on the channel already. In fact, I just showed you some stuff a few minutes ago. But I got this new bag, and it's so cute. So, we all know the 805 Stitcher. But yeah, I had to get this. Look at it. Look at it. It's little foxes. Oh, it's so cute. It's bigger than I need for Fox View, but I mean, how can I not use this for Fox View? I love these bags. And of course, you know, she put a thank you note in here, which I always appreciate. Aw, yes. Tara is the maker at 805 Stitcher, and she always includes a coordinating needle minder. How cute! How cute! So cute. So yeah, if you haven't checked out the 805 Stitcher yet, you need to. These bags are fantastic. They really are. I'm using my Puffy Cat and Pumpkin bag to hold all of my Season of Smalls stuff. And like I said, I'll probably use this bag for my Fox View and any future Fox related items. Actually, excuse me, I have a kit for the Woodland Creatures. What is it called? I think it's just called the Woodland Stitch Along, that Lakeside Needlecraft did. They just finished it up earlier this year. I got in on it late and I never did start it, but I have the whole kit. And I have all 12 pieces of the pattern now, so this would actually be a great project bag for that. So that might be, that project might be an upcoming high tea start too, because I have all the stuff for it. I just need to do it. So, we'll see. Okay, so that's all the purchases. It's all the whips, it's all the plans, all the purchases. So I guess now it's time to talk about prizes. Okay, so 14 of you told me what you love about cross stitch, and also filled out the Happy Mail form. So thank you to everyone who has filled out the Happy Mail form, whether you entered this giveaway or not. Thank you so much. I have a bunch of you on there now, and it's really, really exciting. And 14 of you are in this yarn bowl to be selected for these 5 prizes. So I'm going to draw names as I remind you what the prizes are because it's been a little while. Let me just shift some things around. So, the big prize is this cross stitch go kit. And just to give you a reminder, so you get the box, you get the July Dinky Dyes floss, pretty blues and greens. You get 2 welly tins complete with the original Band-Aids. And you get a pack of Bowen needles, size 26, which are my favorites. And these are good. They might be a little bit small if you do 14 count, but pretty much anything smaller than that, these are going to be perfect. If you're doing super small, like 36 and 40 counts, even if you're doing, well, if you're doing over 2 with the 30, anyway, if you're doing 36 and 40 counts, especially if you're doing 1/1, this might be a little big for you, but it's going to be pretty good for most any other cross stitches that you would do. I also decided, and this was not originally in the thing, but I also decided to throw in this cute little pair of embroidery scissors. I had wanted to get a pair that actually matched or coordinated, but this was the best I could do. Even so, they're super cute. They have a little case. They're super sharp, snippy embroidery scissors. So that goes in there too. So all of that in your cross stitch, because how can you not have a cross stitch? I mean, you can't have a go kit without scissors, right? So, okay. So, go kit. Let's see who is going to win it. I'm going to shake it. The go kit goes to Kay Lowry. Okay, so Kay, that is yours. I'm just going to put, I shouldn't have closed this up. I'm going to put your name. That's part of the reason that I'm drawing them this way is so that I can put the name tag in there so I don't forget who gets what. So Kay, you have won the go kit. And that will go out in the mail. These are all going to go out in the mail probably next week. Let's see. The next prize was this Riolis cross stitch kit, these cute little foxes, and the fall leaf needle minder. I'm just making sure I don't dump them out of the bowl as I'm shaking them up. Okay, so the Riolis fox kit goes to Tattooed Reading Owl. So that is going to be yours. I have all of your addresses, so this is going to go right into the mail to you as soon as I get a chance to put the mail together. Okay, next is the Riolis Butterfly Needlework Kit. Mix it up. Okay. The Riolis Needlework Butterfly Needlework Kit goes to Ithami Waddell, and I hope I'm saying your name correctly. So Ithami Waddell, you get the Riolis Butterfly Kit. Do that. And the last 2 prizes, I've got the Patronus Bendy Flip Floss Buddy, and I've also got the Giraffe Friends Floss Buddy. So we'll do the drawing for the Patronus first. So Patronus. Okay. The Patronus Floss Buddy goes to Lori Ayers. Ayers? Lori. The Patronus Floss Buddy is yours. If you find that you have won a gift that you, that you, for whatever reason, you don't want that specific thing, or you want to gift it forward or something, if there's anything, if there are any issues with what you've won, just send me a message, and I will work it out, whatever it is. So, Lori, that's yours. Last but not least, we have the Giraffe Floss Buddy. This one. This goes to Lindsay Gentles. Okay, so That is all the prizes. So congratulations to everybody who got a prize. If you didn't win something, there will always be a next time. I noticed that I've gotten a lot more subscribers even since I did the giveaway. So there will certainly be more of these in the future. So definitely keep watching. Those of you who've been here the whole time, thank you so much. There's a number of you that I know have been watching since I started this last year, and it means so much to me that you keep coming back week after week. And I've had a number of folks saying that they come back because they like my style, they like how I do things. So that means a lot to me. It really does. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for coming back more than anything else. If you're new here, thank you so much for trying me out because, we all have different tastes. Not all of us do, no two people do videos the same. So the fact that you enjoy what I do is just really a huge compliment. So thank you so much. If you have liked this and you're new, then definitely hit that like button. If you would like to see more of this, definitely hit that subscribe button. And if you want to be notified whenever I post a video, and sometimes I post random stuff, hit that little bell to be notified when I put new stuff up. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here. I know this has been a long one. It's been a little crazy. I'm curious to see how editing is going to go. So this is going to be interesting to say the least. But thank you so much for spending time with me. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I have enjoyed it. And I will see you again next week. Thank you so much, everyone.